Okay, girls, let's talk about the water bottle pattern. Okay, so this pattern says that we start out using a chain 4 and join to make a loop, or we use what's called the adjustable loop. The adjustable loop is also known as the magic ring. Okay, so there's two ways that we can do this, and I've done them both ways to start out, and so I'm going to show you what the chain 4 join with a slip stitch to make a ring looks like. And this is what it looks like when we start the bottom of the water bottle. And you can see that there's kind of a hole in the middle. And on the back side, here's my tail. And what I could do to stitch up that gap, that hole in the middle, is I could put a yarn needle on this and kind of try to pull tight and stitch it shut. I mean, you could do that. You could stitch it shut. But anyways, if you make a loop that is a chain 4 that you join to make a circle, it's going to be like this, and you're going to have a hole in the middle. And sometimes you want that. Sometimes you want a hole in the middle. Many flowers that you crochet start out this way, and you actually want a hole in the middle. Maybe you're going to embellish it and put glue a bead or a button right in the middle. So that would be reasons why you would want a hole. But sometimes I like to have it sealed shut, and I don't want a hole at all, and I don't want to have to stitch it closed later either. And in that case, to learn to do that, it would be best to know how to do a adjustable loop or the magic ring. And that's what this one looks like. So you can see there's no hole at all in the middle. Okay, it is completely tight and very closed. And you basically just keep going around and working in the circle. Okay, so there's the difference between the two, and I'm going to show you how to do both of them, and you can pick whichever one that you like the best, and but it's good to learn both. Okay, so I'm going to start here with some blue yarn, and we'll make the slip knot. Okay, this is going to be just like the pattern says, chain 4 and join with a slip stitch. Okay, so made a slip knot. Going to put my hook in there. Okay, I'm going to chain 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here is the first stitch right there. Okay, see it? There's the top one. So I'm going to go in there, just like that, and I'm going to bring my working yarn back through. Okay, brought it back through, and I'm going to bring it through the one on my hook. And so I've joined it, and I've made a ring. See the ring? And right there is the center, right here. Okay, that's the center. And what it wants me to do is to make 6 single crochets in this hole. Okay, so there's my hole. So I'm going to go in the hole, bring my working yarn back through, and from now on what I'm going to do to hold my work is I'm going to put my middle finger and my thumb right in that hole. I'm going to yarn over and take off 2. There's 1. I'm going to do this 6 times. Okay, there's 2, and here's the tail. Just kind of get the tail out of the way. Go back in the middle, bring my working yarn back through. There's 3, there's 4, there's 5. Okay, and there's 6. Okay, so I've got 6 crochets on here. Okay, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and right there was the first one that I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the first one. Okay, so let's zoom in and look at these directions real quick. Okay, so let's look at round 1. It says chain 1, 6 single crochets in a loop, and we've already done that. Round 2 says to do 2 single crochets in each of the 6 that we just did. Okay, so that's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. We're on round 2. Okay, so if I'm going to use this method where I chain 4 to make the loop, I'm going to start with doing 2 single crochets in each of the 6 ones that we just did. Here's the first one. Okay, and here you can see the top loop right there. Okay, so I'm going to go in that top loop. Okay, There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, now what I want you to do is put a marker, get your yarn markers, and put a marker in the first one that you did. Okay, here's the second one, but here's the first one that we did. Okay, because we just put 2 in there. So I'm going to put 2 in each one of these. 1, 2. Okay, here's the next one. 1, 2. 1, 2. And here we go again. 1, 2. Okay, then we're going to do the last ones. 1. Move the yarn marker out of the way. 2. Okay, so I have 12 single crochets now, so let's count them. Okay, we should end at our marker. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then here's the one where we started with the marker. Okay, so we've got 12 around this. We did 2 in each of the 6 that we started, so we're going in the round. Okay, now we're ready for round 3 of our pattern, so let's zoom in and look at that. Round 3 says to 1 single crochet in next single crochet, and then you're going to put 2 in the next one. Okay, so we're going to put 1 and then we're going to put 2, then we're going to put 1 and then we're going to put 2. It says repeat all the way around. Okay, so when we end we should have 18 single crochets. Do you see that? Okay, so we're ready for round 3. Okay, so I'm going to take out my marker for just a second. Put 1 in the back one. Okay. And then put my marker back in because that's the very first stitch of round 3. So we put 1, then we're going to put 2 right here. So there's 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going to put 1. And then I'm going to put 2 right there. I want you to pay attention how I'm using my thumb and my middle finger to guide my hook and where I'm putting things and how I'm holding it. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 right there and 2 in the next. Okay, 1 right there and then 2 in the next. Okay, 1 right here and then 2 in the next. And then 1 and then 2 in the next. And if you do this correctly all the way around, where you end, the very last one that you end should be an increase. So there should be 2 right before the marker. Okay, every time that you go around, when you end, you should end with putting 2 of them in the last stitch. Okay, you understand that? If you get down here and you've only got 1, then you've done something wrong. You've got off somewhere in the middle of the round. And then when you're done, it's always good to count them. Pull this up and stop for a minute and count, because your directions right here will tell you that at the end of round 3, I'm going to zoom in on that. Okay. At the end of round 3, right here, we're going to have 18 single crochets. So let's count them and make sure that we have that. We can start right here where we ended. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right there with our marker. Okay? So that's how we keep going in the round. If I'm going to look at round 4, it says to single crochet in the next 2 single crochets, and then it says to do 2 of them, and then do 2 singles, and then put 2. Okay, 1 single, put 2 singles. 1 single, put 2. Okay, so we're spacing out the increases. That's basically what this is teaching us to do. So I'll show you what that is. We'll take out our marker. Okay, we're going to put 1 to start, and then put the marker back in. Okay, so it tells us to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 and here's 2. Now we're going to do an increase. We're going to put 2 in the same spot. Okay, now we're going to do 2 singles. There's 1, and move to the next one, and there's 1. And now we're going to put 2 in the same spot. Okay, so we're going to put 2 here. Then we're going to do 1 and 1. Then we're going to put 2. Okay, then we're going to do 1 and 1. Then we're going to place 2. Then 1 and 1. Then we're going to place 2. Okay, then 1, 1, and then put 2. And if we did it correctly, what did I tell you before? We're going to end with the increase at the very last time, right before the marker. This last stitch is where we're going to have 2 of them. So if we get to the end of round 4, it says we should have 24 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And we've done it perfectly. Okay, so this is how we do the, starting at the bottom of the water bottle. This is how we go in the middle, going in the round using the chain 4 join with a slip stitch loop. Okay, I'm going to start another one and show you the magic ring. Alright, so if you'd prefer to do a magic ring, I'm going to show you how to do that. Here's the tail on the right, and the left is what goes to the yarn. Okay, so tail on the right, and I'm just going to make a loop. Okay, that's all I've got is a loop. And what I'm going to do, put the yarn on your hand like you're getting ready to work it. So you just have a loop. I'm going to put the hook right in there and bring up the working yarn, just like that. Okay, so let me show this to you again. You can actually, if you want, just put the yarn on your hand if you want to, and make a loop. You can just make a circle. Okay, put the yarn, put the hook in the middle of the circle of the yarn, and pull up the working yarn. Okay, that's it, and chain 1. Okay, I'm going to do this a couple more times for you. Okay, just go ahead and put the yarn on your hand like you're getting ready to work, and here's the long tail. Okay, just make a loop. Okay, nothing special. Just put the hook in and grab the working yarn and bring it up in that loop. Pretend this is the ponytail holder that we just did, okay? Because this is basically the same concept. Chain 1. Okay, and then you just start right off with your directions that say to put 6 single crochets in that loop. So I'm going to pull it back through. Take off 2, pull it back through. Take off 2, there's 2 crochets. Pull it back through. There's 3. Go in and pull it back through. There's 4. There's 5. And there's 6. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's the first one. It's kind of tight, but it's right there. 6. Okay, why it's called the magic loop is because if you take the tail, right here's the tail, if you take it and you pull it, see how it pulls that shut? It's pulling it tight. Just keep pulling, and it pulls it into a tight, round circle. Okay, see it? And that's how you do the magic loop. And then you're going to join with the directions. It says to put 2 single crochets in every one around. So here's our, if you go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here's our first one right there. Okay, so I'm going to go pull it through, yarn over, take off 2, that's the first one. Okay, so I've done 2 in that one, and I'd want to put my marker right here. So let me grab a marker. I've got one there I can use. That'll be my first one. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 here. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I'm just going to do that all the way around until I get to that marker, and then I'll have 12 single crochets. But I'm going to back this out and show you again how to do a magic ring. Okay, I'm going to start over so you guys can have some practice on this. I'm going to go ahead, here's the tail on the right hand side. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on my left hand to work. Okay, and I'm just going to make a loop just like that. Okay, put my hook in that loop, grab my working yarn and bring it up, and chain 1. Okay, then I'm going to go in, bring it back through, yarn over, take off 2. There's my first one. There's my second one. There's 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6. I've done 6 single crochets, and then when I pull the tail, it cinches it shut. Ta-da! Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, put the yarn on your hand like you're getting ready to work, and here's the tail. Okay, I'm just going to make a loop. Okay, doesn't matter which way that tail's going, it doesn't really matter, but if you want it to go to the left, that's fine. Just make a loop. That's how I did it a minute ago, I guess. We should stay consistent. Okay, so stick the yarn, the hook in the middle of that loop, grab the working yarn and bring it up. Okay, make sure that you use your thumb and your index finger to hold that loop and pinch it. Chain 1. Okay, then go back in the middle of the loop, bring the working yarn up and take off 2. That's my first single crochet. Do it again. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then pull the tail. Okay, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here it is. That's where I'm going to start putting 2 in each one around. My yarn's getting worked a lot, so it's kind of splitting. But that's the first stitch. Bring it back through, take off 2, go back in the same hole, and take off 2. Then I'm going to put 2 in every one around, and then that's how I'm going to get started in going in around. Okay, so I hope that gets you guys started, and then once you get going on every one of the rounds on your directions, work it as far as you can. If you have help, just stop, and we will get you some help in class time. But basically, each time that you go around, like round 4 is single crocheting in 2 stitches before you do the increase. Round 5 is going to be 1 single crochet in the next 3 before you do 2 of them in the next one. Okay, and it's just going to increase like this for a good while. Round 6 is going to be single crochet in the next 4, and then you're going to put 2. Okay, so you'll have single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet. Then you're going to have 2 stitches in the same, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. All right, and when you get done with every round, when you get back to your marker, make sure you count them, and this is how many you should have after every row. And once you get done with row 6, okay, then the rest of the rows, you just keep going around and around and around. You put 1 single crochet in every row around, and you do this up to round 40. So remember the pad and paper that I put in your box? That's how you're going to keep track. Like if you get done with round 6, you're going to put round 6 and put a check mark. And then when you do round 7, you'll write round 7 and you'll put a check mark. So that way you will know what round you're on. And if you have to set your yarn down and pick it up later, you're like, oh, where was I at? And you're like, oh, I did round 7. Okay, I guess I'm working on round 8 now. So paper and pen is what you need to do to keep track of how many rounds that you're going. But once you get done increasing, at round 6, you're going to put a single crochet in 4 stitches, and then you're going to do 2 of them in the next one. Then you'll do 4, and then you'll put 2. Then you'll do 4, and then you'll put 2. And when you get back to your marker, you'll end with 2, and when you count, you'll have 36. And after round 6, beginning with round 7, you don't have to do any more increases. You just single crochet in each single crochet around, and you just keep going around, 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 around. And what happens is it makes the same size all the way up, and then we'll teach you how to finish it out at rounds 42 and 43. We'll teach you that in class and show you how to finish that water bottle. Okay, so hope you're doing good. Keep practicing. Don't give up. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. I can't wait to see what you guys are working on. Have a great day.